Hi everybody, I'm Kathy, and today's class is a foundation class. We're going to go back to the basics. So even if you've done a lot of yoga in your life and you're pretty familiar with all the postures, I want you to really look at this class from a beginner's point of view. And if you're a beginner, then this is a great place to start. So it is nice to have a couple blocks. If you don't have any blocks, a couple books about this size is nice. Otherwise, you don't need these. It's just very helpful for the class. So we'll get started. Let's bring the blocks over the top of your mat to start. And we're just going to come into a child's pose. Knees slightly open. Bring your forehead to the floor. You can rest your arms by your body. Otherwise, bring your arms out forward and let your forehead rest to the floor. Whatever is more comfortable for you. And here I just want you to take a few deep breaths in and out, relaxing through your shoulders, relaxing through your face and low jaw. And just allowing your awareness to come to your breathing, listening to the sound of your breath. Feel the upper body weight resting over your thighs, hips sinking down to your heels. And let the breath come very naturally, but full. So as you inhale, you want to feel the rib cage and the back expand as you pull that oxygen into the lower lobes of the lungs. And on each exhale, just feel the rib cage gently contract, funneling in and down. Belly slightly draws in. Try not to struggle with the breath. Let it come very even and naturally. Take one more big breath in here. And as you exhale, start to just roll up through your spine. Letting your hands come up onto your knees. Shoulders back and down. And then we're going to come to all fours. Bring your palms under your shoulders so that the outside of your wrist is lined up with the outside of your shoulder. Middle fingers point forward. All the rest of your fingers are spread wide. And your palms should feel like they're nice and secure on your mat. So you feel weight in your index finger mounds, your thumb mounds, and the outer edges of your hands. So the outer palm and the baby finger mound. So 4 corners of the hands really pressing and rooting into your mat. And then take your fingertips and even gently grip them to your mat. When you do this, you might feel a little pocket of air underneath your palm. So you've got a nice foundation with the hands. And let's keep that foundation and move into a cat-cow. So as you inhale, let the tailbone rise up and look forward. Open up through the chest and throat. And as you exhale, curl your tailbone under, round your spine and look down between your knees. Inhale, flowing with the breath, tailbone moves up. Moving through each vertebrae, shoulders collapse together, look forward or up. Exhaling, tuck the tailbone under, round through the spine and let the neck relax. And keep moving like this, following your breath. But let's bring our awareness back to our hands and really focus on that foundation of the hands. Notice your index finger mounds. weight wants to move most likely towards the outer edges of your hands, so focus on really rooting into all four corners, especially the index finger mounds as you're moving through your cat-cow, following that flow of your breathing. You can close your eyes if that's more comfortable. Fingertips gently pressing into the mat. Finish each inhale, finish each exhale. And the next time you empty your lungs, stay there, stretch, stretch, and stretch it up until you squeeze all of that air out of your lungs. Find the index finger mounds, press it down, and then bring your sit bones back onto your heels. And this time look forward to your hands. And I want you to walk the hands forward. Make sure that they're still shoulder width apart. So that shoulder line lines right up with the baby finger. Nice. And then four corners, thumb mounds, index finger mounds, baby finger mound, and the outer edge of your palm. Grip the mat with your fingers a little bit here. Nice. And then walk the palms a little further forward as you keep rooting down into those four corners, and feel that length through the sides of the body. And then send the tailbone back. Gently take those upper arm bones and roll them in. We're preparing right now for down dog. So you should feel this length from the fingertips right out and through the sit bones. Take one more breath here. And as you exhale, come up onto all fours. Take your weight forward over your hands, tuck your toes, and bring yourself into a bent knee down dog. So now let's take our awareness down to our feet. Don't worry if your heels aren't on the floor, that's okay. I want you to have nice bent knees here and look down towards your feet. Make sure your toes are nice and spread. And then with your knees bent, I want you to notice that your knees are right in line with your second toes. Nice. And then from here, your feet are hip width apart. So if your knees are in line with the second toes, that should be right in line with your hip bones. Take a deep breath in, and then as you exhale, keep that nice length through the side body, through and out through the arms and through those index finger mounds. And then start to straighten out your legs. Nice, and breathe. Now just notice your feet here. They're not moving in or out. They're nice and still in line. So the heel is in line with the second toe, and the knees are in line with the second toe. Very nice. And then start to walk your hand or feet up and towards your hands. Making sure your feet now are hip distance apart. Take your fists together and place them right between your big toe mounds. So there's about 2 fist widths apart. Spread out your toes. You can use your fingers here. Nice, and then just make sure you got some lift through your arches. So imagine almost you have like a thumbtack right underneath your arches, and it's gently lifting. Bend your knees a little bit here. It's easier to kind of get that rooting into your feet with a bent knee. So again, your big toe mound, baby toe mound, and the inner and outer edge of your heel should feel very rooted. Nice lift through your arches, toes spread. This is a nice time to use your blocks. Even though I don't need the blocks, as you can see, I'm going to use my blocks. So I'm going to take my hands onto the blocks just on the lowest level. Take an inhale halfway up, straighten out the legs. You can use your blocks higher if needed. And then exhale. Bend the knees slightly and just fold forward. Let your neck relax. And then just start to sway a little side to side and find the weight on your feet. Where do you habitually like to use your feet? Let your weight sit. Maybe a little further back onto your heels or forward on your toes, and just go in circles. Forward, side, back. Let your shoulders and your neck relax. Your arms are relaxed here. And then just take those circles in the other direction. So you're feeling all the 4 corners of your feet as you take these circles. Belly slightly drawn in here, just to support the low back. And then come back to your center. So you feel the weight equal on your heels, either side of your heels, inner and outer heels, your big toe mounds, your baby toe mounds. Really root down through those feet. Again, come halfway up to your fingertips. If you need to move your blocks to a higher height, that's fine. Halfway up, nice breath in. You can also just have your hands on your legs if you're not using blocks. And then take your hands onto your hips and draw the belly in. Root down through the feet, knees slightly bent, and come up to standing. Inhale. With your palms on your hip bones, make sure that you feel those hip bones moving forward. If you look down, you still got the 2 fist widths between your feet, so your feet and ankles are directly under your knees and your hips. Nice, and then let your arms come down to your sides. Nice deep breath in. Feel the weight and the rootedness of your feet. Raise your arms up. And with your exhale, bend your knees, send your hips back, and fold forward. Hands to your blocks. Inhale, halfway up. Lengthen. Exhale and fold forward. Inhale, reach those arms forward and up. Exhale, arms come to the sides. Again, inhale, reach the arms up, slight bend to your knees, root through the feet. Exhale, fold forward. Empty the lungs. Halfway up, take a breath in. Exhale and fold. Empty the lungs. Inhale, reach forward and up. Exhale, arms come to the sides. Find your feet, bend those knees. Inhale, reach. Feel the big toe mounds. Exhale, fold. Look at your feet. Do you still have those nice arches? Inhale, halfway up. Exhale and fold. Notice where the weight is. Use your feet to come up. Breathe in. Exhale, arms to your sides. Inhale, reach up. Length. Exhale, hips back, fold. Inhale, halfway up. And this time, exhale, take your left foot in a big step to the back of your mat. Make sure your feet are hip distance apart. And then bring the back knee down. Take your hands and place them on your front knee. Keep the back toes tucked under. Nice, and I want you to square out the hips. So imagine you're sucking the inner thighs together. And then feel that as you do that, the hips square out. Nice, right sit bone moving towards the mat. Press into the right big toe mound. And then raise your arms up. Now you can't see that back foot, but I want you to really press into the left big toe mound and feel the left inner thigh rolling back. Inner thighs coming together. Exhale, fold forward. Hands come to your blocks. Raise up the back knee. Make sure your front knee is directly under your heel. Look down at that front foot and make sure you have a nice arch. So it's like a little thumbtack underneath there. You're using the whole front foot. Press into that left big toe mound. So you're really anchored through your feet. You can even look back at that back foot and then feel the inner thighs coming towards one another. It's creating some energy through your inner thighs. You can keep your hands here. I want to keep a nice low lunge here. You can rest your arms, just hang them by your sides, or a little more challenging, raise your arms forward, reaching arms by your ears, and breathe. So you're pressing into the front toe mound, the back toe mound. You're really finding the inner thighs, like you're holding a block between your inner thighs. Breathing. On your next exhale, let your hands come down to the blocks and take your back knee down to the mat. Nice. And then let's walk our hands towards the back of the mat and start to straighten your right leg. Going into a hamstring stretch here. So I want you to just look at that front foot, your right foot, and feel as if you're pulling your foot towards you from your baby toe mound and your big toe mound. Otherwise, you're going to find your foot is kind of sickling in. So keep a nice flat foot. Lengthen through the spine and fold. And again, really find the inner thighs. Breathe. Try not to round too much through your spine here. I don't want to see this. I want to see length. Watch that front foot isn't sickling. And just hold and breathe. Sit bones reaching back. Right sit bone reaching back. Sit a little deeper. You might walk your hands further forward if your body allows you. One last inhale, exhale. And then start to walk that right foot back to the floor. Hands come to your blocks. Inhale, lift the back knee and step yourself forward. Bring your feet hip distance apart again. You can check with your fists. Spread out your toes, come halfway up. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Now just notice the difference from one side to the other now that you've only done one side of the body. And just hang your upper body here loosely. You can bend your knees slightly. Just again, take a look down at your feet. Or close your eyes and just feel the feet on the floor and imagine all four corners equally weighted. And then with your next breath in, come halfway up. Inhale. Exhale, right foot, big step to the back of your mat. Feet are hip distance apart and take that right knee down. Bring your hands onto your left knee. And again, you can't really see that back foot, so I want you to really think of pushing the right big toe mound into the mat. Find that connection. Hug the inner thighs. Feel the weight on the front left big toe mound. And then reach the arms up. And let the hips sink down. Use your feet here. Almost imagine it's very slight, but the left sit bone moving back as you sink a little deeper, getting that beautiful stretch through the hip flexors on the right side. Exhale, take your fingers down onto your blocks and lift the back knee. Let's look back at that foot. Really anchor down through that right big toe mound. Nice, look at your front foot. And then bring a little more weight to the big toe mound. Left knee directly above the left heel. Nice. Hug the inner thighs. So you're really finding the feet and then the legs. You can let your arms just hang here loose or reach the arms forward by your ears and breathe. So you're reaching through your fingers, but you're also sending that right heel back. Your feet are doing the work here. You're hugging your inner thighs. One more breath. And fingers come down. Take your right knee to the floor. Walk your hands back and start to move your weight to that back part of your mat. Left leg straightens. Nice. If you can't straighten your left leg, that's just fine. Do what you can. And then just here, hug the inner thighs. And this will help to square out your hips. Watch your front foot so your left foot isn't sickling in. Pull back from your baby toe mound and your big toe mound equally. You can use your blocks if you need to here. So don't forget about those. Nice long spine. Don't worry how high you are up. I want you to feel that stretch through your hamstring muscles on the left side. Breathe. Keep square through your hips, hugging the inner thighs. Fold over a little deeper if your body allows you. And then gently releasing. Nice. Come back to the top of your mat. Lift the right knee. Let's take a step forward. Try to place your right foot so it's directly under your right hip. So we're right back into feet hip distance apart. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, fold forward. Slight bend in your knees. Use your feet to inhale, come to stand. Exhale, arms by your sides. Close your eyes for a moment. Just take a moment and feel the body. Feel your feet, how they're weighted on the floor. If they don't feel like they're directly under your hips, take a peek down. Make sure they are. Look at your toes. Make sure they're spread. Got nice lifted arches. Front thighs are gently lifting. The shoulders are gently back and down, so the arms are hanging right by your sides. Neck is long. Nice. Open your eyes. If you feel slightly dizzy, just focus at a point for a moment. And then I'm going to get you to bring your feet to touch. Big toe mounds touch. Heels touch. Toes are spread. So the same idea here, really root through the feet, big toe mounds, baby toe mounds, and inner outer edges of your heels. And then bring your arms forward and bring your shoulders back. So your shoulder blades are gently squeezing. And then start to bend your knees. And feel where the weight goes. If it goes a little towards the front, into your toes, I want you to lean into your heels. And go a little deeper. Moving into a chair pose. If you want to go a little bit deeper, start to bring your weight even more into your heels as your arms reach up towards your ears. Now, if your elbows start to bend, lower the arms slightly so that the arms stay straight. If your shoulders allow you today, keep sitting back and let the arms reach up by your ears. One more breath. Go slightly deeper with your hips. Squeeze those inner thighs. Exhale, fold forward. Halfway up, take a breath in. Hands onto your blocks. And let's take that left foot and step it back about 1.5 feet. Nice. And then make sure your feet are hip distance apart. Very good. And then bend your front knee slightly. And let's walk our hands up onto that front thigh. Bend the back knee so that your knees are square. Front knee should be above the heel and back knee is bent. Drop your sit bones down. Lift up through your belly. Nice. And then make sure you're using your feet. As soon as I don't use my feet, I feel off balance. So anchor down into those big toe mounds. Nice. Reach the arms forward and up, arms by the ears. If your shoulders allow you, and then straighten out that back leg. Use the big toe mound of the back foot, big toe mound of the front foot. Breathe. Inner thighs are squeezing. And then exhale and fold forward. You can use your blocks at a higher level here if you need to. We're going to straighten that front leg. Breath in, long spine. Nice. And breath out, fold forward. If you look back at that back foot, make sure it's not turned in. Everything's nice and square. You can bring your blocks a little lower if that's something that you can do. Feel the thighs gently lifting up as you press into those big toe mounds. Lengthening through your spine. Neck is relaxed. Belly's drawn gently in. Come halfway up. Inhale. Take a step forward. Feet hip distance apart. Halfway up, breathe. Exhale and fold. Feet hip distance apart here. Let's go into a chair. So a chair with feet hip distance, bend the knees. Make sure your knees aren't moving in or out. They're lined up right with the second toe. And then start to bring the arms forward. Shoulders are down. If your shoulders allow, arms reach up by your ears. Go a little bit deeper. Gently turn the tailbone down. Breathe. And then exhale and fold forward. Halfway up, take a breath in. Take the right foot back about 1.5 feet. Nice. Bend that front knee, left knee, and bring your hands onto your left knee. Bend the right knee. So both knees are bent here. Hands to the hips. Tailbone gently tucked. Feel the belly drawing in. Use the front foot, back big toe mound. Anchoring yourself. Feel the inner thighs. Engage. Reach the arms up and straighten out that back leg. Breathe. Make sure you're not overarching. You still feel that lift through the belly. And then exhale and fold forward. As you fold forward here, you might bring your blocks onto the highest height. Straighten the front leg, so both legs are straight now. Nice. Lengthen. You might stay here. Or exhale, fold. But keep length through the spine. Just noticing that front foot for a moment. Notice if the weight's trying to move to the outer edge and really anchor into the left big toe mount. You might bring your blocks a little lower if you can go a little deeper. And breathe. Take a moment to not think too much. Breathe into it. Nice. Bend your front knee. Take a step forward. Keep feet hip distance apart. Halfway up, take a breath in. Exhale and fold. Just bring your blocks to the highest height. And then bend your knees a little bit. Anchor into your feet. Let your feet carry you up to standing. Inhale. Exhale, arms by the sides. Take a moment, close your eyes. If you feel dizzy, keep the eyes focused at a point. Feel the feet grounding. Softness in the knees. Thighs slightly lifting. And tailbone gently tucking down without squeezing your glutes, your butt muscles. Let the shoulders drop back down. Ribcage gently knitting together at the front body. These are all very gentle and subtle movements. Not over squeezing anywhere. Try to feel very relaxed. Arms hang loose. But make sure you notice your arms hanging beside your body. So if you took your middle fingers and just placed them on the side of your pants or shorts, you'd feel the seam of your shorts right where your middle fingers are. So this will be different if your shoulders are rolled in. You might want to take a look at this at me on the screen right now. Shoulders rolled in, you'll see my hands hang down in the front. When the shoulders are back and down and wide, my arms hang naturally beside my body and my hands rest beside my body. Neck long, chin parallel to the floor. One more breath here. Open your eyes. Let's inhale, reach up. Exhale, bend those knees, send the hips back, fold forward. Palms are onto the top of your blocks now, and they're at the highest level. Inhale, halfway up. Take the left foot and just step it back about 1 foot. Anchor into that right foot. Slight bend in the right knee. We're going to go into airplane mode 3, but it's supported, just a version. So keeping that right foot really anchored down, bring some energy into the left foot and raise that left leg up. Toes pointing down, so heel is flexed. Nice. Feel the inner thighs active, so the left inner thigh is rolling up towards the ceiling. Belly is drawn in. If you were to take your hand and place it just on your sacrum, it should feel very flat here. That left hip is not hiking up. So this is not about raising your leg way up to the ceiling. Breathe, lengthen through both heels. So feel like you're pressing that left heel into the wall. And then bend your knee and bring that foot back to the mat. Feet hip distance. Let's bring our weight into our left foot. Anchor it down. Take the right foot and gently back. Just about a foot. And then raise that right leg up. Raise the right leg up from the right inner thigh. Imagine that point. And then breathe. Hips are square. So you're not feeling that left hip popping out. If you hug the inner leg muscles, so keep those hips nice and square. Right toes are facing the mat. You can always almost imagine you're pressing that right foot on a wall. You can have a bend in the left knee. Breathe in. And then gently place the right foot back down to the floor. Let's move those blocks out of the way. Bring your hands down to the floor. If you need to bend your knees here, halfway up, take a nice breath. And exhale, fold forward. And then walk your feet or step back into a down dog. Look at your feet. They're hip distance apart, your knees are bent. But let's take our awareness back to our hands. We haven't spent a lot of time on the hands. So remember to find those 4 points. Baby finger mound, index finger mound, thumb mounds, and the outer edge of your palm. Really pressing into those points. Grip the mat with your fingers. Roll your upper arm bones in. Lengthen through the side body. Knees nice and bent. Send the tailbone up. Keep that length. And then straighten out your legs. Don't worry about your heels. They don't need to touch the mat. Breathe. And just notice how this down dog feels compared to the first down dog of the day. Couple more breaths here. Enjoy that length through your body. Soft face. Nice, and then bring your knees down to the mat. Release your toes, and let's take that back into a child's pose. Take a comfortable child's pose. So that might be arms just resting on the floor out in front. You might rest your palm over palm, forehead onto your hands, or arms by your sides, palms facing up. This is my favorite because I find I can really relax my shoulders. And let's just focus on calming down the breath, calming down the mind, enjoying the way your body feels. And then with your next exhale, just start to roll up through your spine. If it's too hard to roll up sitting on your heels, just come onto your bum and roll up from there. Let your hands slide up to your knees. Take your time. Shoulders naturally draw back and down. Head comes to center. Nice, come off to one side, swing your legs around. And then we're going to roll onto our back. Just bring yourself down. And let's take the right ankle, cross it over your left knee. Make sure your right ankle is flexed, so your right toes are pulling back towards your right knee, just to keep that ankle joint safe. And then lift the left foot off the mat. You might find this is just enough to get a beautiful stretch through those hip muscles on the right side. Otherwise, interlock your fingers around the left knee. And let's take that into a nice hip stretch. Try not to bring your tailbone off the mat, so your sacrum is still weighted. Breathe. You might make some nice small circles with that left knee in both directions. Or just stay in the center. Let's release that side and change sides. Take your left ankle, cross it over your right knee. Flex the left ankle joint. And then interlock your fingers here. There's also the option of just using a strap. So you wrap that strap around the right, under the right knee. If you can't quite reach, try to keep your sacrum on the mat. So if you find you're really lifting up through your sacrum and tailbone, then it might be a better option to just not use your hands or use a strap. Do some circles if you like. You might roll a little bit side to side, whatever feels good for you. Take both feet to the floor, as wide as your mat, and then drop your knees in together. Take your left hand and place it on the lower rib cage, and your right hand and place it on your stomach, your tummy. And let your shoulders and your arms, your elbows relax. Without any forcing of the breathing, just feel the breath in the body. Feel anywhere where you might be holding your shoulders, your low jaw, your eye muscles. And then start to walk your feet in so that the feet are together. And drop your knees open now. Keep relaxing deeper and deeper. And you can stay like this to go into Savasana. Otherwise, let your arms come off to your sides, palms facing up, and let your legs stretch out on the floor. You might give your legs and your hips a little shake. Maybe even move your head slightly side to side. Get comfortable. And then get nice and still. And quiet. As you start to still the body, become very quiet in your mind. If there's still thoughts, just let them come and go like clouds. Don't hold on to any one thought. Notice your breath slowing down. And enjoy the weight of your body on the floor. And then very gently start to wiggle toes, fingers. Allow a big breath to come in and exhale it out. You start to circle your ankles and circle your wrists in both directions. You bring your knees in, hug your knees in, rock on your back, side to side. Whatever feels good for you here. You might turn your head from side to side. And then roll right over onto your right side. And just take a few more moments in fetal position. Enjoy your body and how you feel. Very gently, when you're ready, start to walk yourself up to sitting. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed the class. Have a nice day. Namaste.